Can't remember. We'll start right there for now. Start right there for now. We gotta make sure we're live first. Oh, it freezes it. Alright, hold on. Then I can't stay on the settings menu for now. Hold on a second, chat. Hold on 1 second, chat. Okay. It's being weird. 1 second. Might not be live on this first try. Let's see. Let's see. Nah, there we go. Good, good. Should be weird on this end. Okay. Hello, chat. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. That's good on that end. Okay. So let me pause that for a second. Do that for a second. Alright, welcome, welcome, chat. I'm gonna check some settings. I turned the camera on so I could look at the settings for it real quick. But it also seems to freeze the game a little bit and like pause it when I go into my X and V, so this makes it a little easier to check it. But welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We did. I could have sworn we streamed the demo of this on PC, but I could not find it. I'll have to try to look it up later and see what its original title was. See if I can merge it. Clearly, we didn't give it a playlist because I had no playlist for this game. So what I'm assuming I did is I must put it in my Steam Next Fest demos folder, and I'll have to look through there. It's strange because I own this game on PC too, and I'm like, I could have swore we did at least the first episode. But I guess not. It's alright though, that's fine. We're gonna do it here on console, and welcome everyone to the PS5 version of this game. We're gonna be checking this out. I already got us back to where technically we did in the demo, because the demo ends right where you're able to start customizing your truck. Now, what we're gonna do for today's stream, since I'm not sure where episode 1 went, we're going to start from the tutorial, and then when we're done with the tutorial and the first little bit of it, because we got to deliver a cargo you start with in the very beginning of the game, after you make some little repair work and stuff like that, to show all that off and how that works. We're going to do that real quick, and then once we're done with that little mission, we're going to quit and load my file, which is past the first 2 little introduction little missions. They're just the same, just go back and forth, make a couple deliveries till you get high enough level to unlock the main little convoy missions, which gets you access to your customizations and upgrades for the truck for the first time, which I haven't done yet. I'm saving that, so wanted to show that off before I continue on my own file for this. I don't know if we'll do a full series. This is going to be just one of the games that's going to be here as on the list along with a lot of the other ones, so. But if we decide to stream it, we will. But most likely this will be just an every now and then thing. I don't think this thing has multiplayer either, so it's also mostly a single player game. So it is really fun though. I do like this game. It's got quite a lot of like personality to it, and I like you have to actually maintain and be careful not to run into the meteorites, and you have to patch up the outside. Replace your air filters and all the stuff you would have in technically a space rig instead of a ground rig, because in a ground rig you don't need oxygen because you're on Earth. So I'll give everyone a chance to join up while I'm finishing settings and stuff, and then we'll get started and check out everything and then get back to where we left off. But I will be back in a moment, chat. I'll still be able to see if anyone joins, so feel free to say hello if anyone joins up. Hope you enjoy the video. I'm a little slow this morning. I've got a bit of a headache in the background. Sometimes it happens with my sinuses. The weather's being a little weird too, so. But welcome. Alright, almost ready, chat. About 3 minutes. And we will begin. Welcome, welcome, Jam Gang. Hello, hello. We are about to begin here in a second. Welcome, welcome. And I'll bring my face back because I have to pause. It pauses the game when I use my XMB stuff. You see, maybe I saw that. Oh my. The credit roll thing that said it's like 7 Alien movies, not including the 2 Predator movies that are also the other 6 Predator movies who are also Alien movies. That was golden. Like that, and to see what's his name at the very end, that was beautiful, man. That's something that when you see someone's heart in it. That was great. I'm a Star Trek master now. Nice. I only began last night. I got up to where I can customize my truck some, but I haven't shown it off because I wanted to save it for stream. We are going to do the tutorial for stream's sake, for everyone to see the beginning of the game. Since I don't know what happened in my original PC episode 1, we're going to have to show that off again. But I did create a file and get up to where we were, so after we do the tutorial, we can just load that file instead. So. But it's very, very, very awesome. But that was probably the best trailer. Also, just the unbelievable amount of Marvel games that are everywhere now. There's a fighting game coming that's like the original Marvel Alliance. What was it called? Battle Alliance or something? I don't remember what the fighting game was called. That was just Marvel. It didn't have Capcom at that time. This was before MCV or MVC. I had it. It had Doctor Doom, Thanos, everybody in it. And that's kind of what this game feels like coming out for the fighting game. And then there's the turn-based one you just sent me today. And then there's the side-scrolling beat-em-up one that's coming out. It's like Double Dragon. I'm like, wow, okay. It's a small dev team, but hopefully a space trucker too will have more. I think it will. It is a small dev team, but to be fair, small dev teams are better. As I kind of touched on at the end of last stream for Doom. Now, if you're just by yourself, I would imagine that you still want help. Like, let's say it's only a team of like, even with outsourcing, let's say it's only a team of like 5. You probably at least want to go up to 10 to 15 to 20. I'd say that here's my maximum number I think a company should kind of stop going above. At least not including outsourcing. Like the main team that handles everything. But then they choose what the outsourcing does and keeps a tight handle on it. So I'd say probably safely 100 is about okay. But after that, I feel like you're going to start pushing and pushing more to where that same problem starts to evolve. It's caused a lot of big companies to have problems. Where now they just outsource everything. They don't even have a main team. They say they do, but even that main team is just scrapped and thrown out the door for another team next year. So it doesn't really matter. So they're not really main teams. So, and that's kind of why I touched on the passion thing, and there's no passion in those games. Because why would you work to be passionate at something when you know you're just going to be thrown out the door next year? Good or bad, right? Good or bad. So, that's why small dev teams are more powerful. I mean, look how good this game looks. That's something else I want to point out. This game is really good looking. It may not be big maps and be a massive map. You have to unlock some of it through leveling up and doing the story, but for what they achieved here, and once again, this is, even though Expedition 33 is the max scale of what I'm using as an example for smaller companies, this is, I mean, look at the scratches on it. I mean, this is really good. And the game is fun. It's got good mechanics. The only thing I think it had a little rough patches with when I played the PC version when it first began was kind of teaching some of the things in some of the tutorials, excuse my language, I can't talk today, weren't too elaborate, but it's pretty good now. I mean, it's still not easy, but you'll see that it's gotten a lot better. And the PS5 one is insane. This one is airtight. Like, this is probably my by far favorite version. Normally I like my PC versions, but this one, this is airtight. It's really good, and the tutorial is even better. What's it? Huh? What, the straw? Well, that one's gone. What's happening? Oh, you're trying to change it. But, let's see. Tutorial worked great for me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm talking about on PC, it was like that. But on here on PS5, the tutorial was like great, which is why I want to show it off. And since I don't know where episode 1 went, we might as well start from the beginning at least a little bit. Can you get it? You might as well leave it down there. It's gonna have to be thrown away anyways. But yeah, it's like, hopefully it sold decent so we see DLC or a second one more expanded game. I'm hoping it's so as well. Extremely. It's also why I wanted to show it off some. I don't know if we'll do a full series on it. We've got so many other things we're going to be jumping back and forth between as I stream. But I wanted to show it some love. This is my main thing this channel is going to be doing, even when I'm jumping back and forth in the games I feel like playing at the moment. It's mostly going to be indie games the closer it gets towards the end of the year. And it's also going to be smaller dev team companies. Things like Expedition 33 and stuff like that. To kind of support a narrative that should be pushed for better quality games. So, the ones I've already bought or already made the future for, we're going to get MGS and all that, sure. Death Stranding 2, sure. But beyond that, I really don't have a reason anymore. These games just aren't what the reason why I bought them originally. So, that's why I like games like this, Star Trucker, all of those. This is actual game development. So, my only small gripe is I would like to see the shop/garage icons showing from, yes, I would like the highway icons to do that as well. Sometimes, I mean, it does mark it if you've already set the path, which is nice, but it marks the gate. It doesn't mark the highway that leads to the gate, or spaceway, which is the thing you see, by the way, the truck in the background flying through right now, which we'll do in a minute, to show how that works. And I'll show you what I mean by that when we play. I do think they could use a bit of a slightly more intuitive UI when it comes to the icons of when you're flying around. Otherwise, I haven't had any problems so far with this thing at all. It's been a great game. I've enjoyed every little minute, but I had a hard time stopping last night. Almost ended up going too far. Thank you. Well, thank y'all. But almost ended up going too far and past where I wanted to stop because of how good this game is. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and show this and pick up where I was. And then after we do that, we might stream another one at some point, but I'll probably do most of this game on my own because it's more of a personal enjoyment one. But we might, if I find something really interesting or something really crazy towards the end, or we might do like special load videos, like hazard type cargo and things like that. I'm already able to do just in time and fragile right now in my playthrough. I haven't made it much further than that. So like speed deliveries I can do, and also fragile ones where we cannot damage it or we'll lose a lot of money from the delivery. So, no notifications, thank you YouTube. Yeah, deviating from the highways means hitting meteors and debris, yes, which is why I would love, I'm starting to memorize where each of the little highways connect to the stations and back and forth between different gates as I do it instinctually on my own more and more, making deliveries. But I would say that that's something I'm actually gonna, big shout out to Lamito, I'm gonna use him as an example for this. When he was telling me what happened with his startup, he couldn't figure out where to go because he couldn't find the highways too easily, and he kept end up trying to cross across the void, which, as Tam King just said, is bad. So, like, you can damage your truck very, very heavily, and you can also damage the cargo, which really, really hurts how much you're gonna get paid for it. So let me turn my camera back on too. It's gonna pause for a second. All right. I've seen heavy load deliveries where you pull an actual asteroid. That's awesome. Ah, so that's why he kept sending me urgent messages otherwise. Yeah, he was trying to figure out how do you find out where to go. And I mean, it's hard to explain it in words, but I was like, there's these like little these little bracket walls, which is what you see flying in the background beside it, that you have to follow, and you have to know what highway you're looking for, and that will be marked. It may not show where the highway starts that you need to get on from where you are, or if you need to go through another highway to get to that highway. So let's say it says 15. This means to get on I don't know what I'm gonna call it a spaceway. To get on the spaceway to 15 that leads to the gate 15, you might have to go through like spaceway 25 from another station or something like that. But it doesn't elaborately really tell you where that path is in the local map. Another solve to this, if they really didn't want to make markers or do that, wanted to go something a little easier, just give me a local map. Let me be able to zoom in each of the stations where you can see where the highways are in the beginning of end of each little spaceway. That'd be kind of nice. Otherwise, that's really the only major thing I think this game. Slightly good to have an improvement on, but like I said, it is a small developer, so it's understandable why some of those things probably didn't make it in. So it's fine. But but I will say in the future, like for tips for them, if they want to like make improvements to certain things, either like a little mini map for seeing gateways and entry points to spaceways, or to differentiate between the two easier. Or just put an icon. Like if I have it tracked and I've set my route to go blah blah blah, it should mark if let's say I need to go from 25 to 15 to get to that gate. Then it needs to mark the beginning of 25 where I'm at to say go down this one, and then that way. Now, once again, it could be on purposely designed that way too, to make it more simulative, in the fashion of as a new truck driver, you wouldn't really know the routes too well, and you'd have to learn them. And if that's the fact, then that's fine. But I do think they should add a setting that if you don't want the full simulative experience, because not everyone's going to do it for that reason, maybe put a setting in for it, even if it's not defaultly on. Something like that. Now, I didn't see anything in here for that. Let me look one more time. Yeah, everything's turned on. Yeah. Yeah, there isn't really anything that specifically dials like the the markers and stuff to different places, so. My cab was parked up and I was snoozing, so I missed his calls for help. That is funny you can do that. I have realized that's what you want to do for the just-in-time deliveries. Let's say you go too fast. It's a good way to skip time ahead to right before the delivery is about to trigger. And then when it triggers, you just drive over and drop it off and done. It's quite good. I do, like I said, they did a good job on a lot of it. And then you have to refuel like everything, and it's pretty cool. Like I said, you'll see it as we do a little bit more of it, but here and there. But let's start up the main tutorial. Starting a new game will overwrite your autosave. That's fine. Let me make sure I have my manual save before I do that. I do. So it's fine that that's going to overwrite my autosave. Also, you can change your settings in different ways. So if you didn't want to have to, repair the truck as often, you just want to drive and deliver and be a truck driver, kind of like the ATS. I actually would consider this like ATS mode, where it's all about you just go to shops to make repairs and do stuff like that. You might have to replace a battery here and there, but it's very, very rare. And it's also reduced maintenance, but the jobs also pay less in this mode because you're not having the maintenance as much. To me, if you're really wanting the full experience with this game, but not be too heavy on having to do a bunch of stuff constantly, this is probably the best setting. Because this is going to have a decent amount of, you'll have to replace the batteries okay amount of times. It's not going to be overexerting. Especially if you use pluses in the ones that use the most energy the quickest. It's all about knowing which batteries are expendable where. So maglev, your maglev unit, you can just put regular batteries in that. There's no point in spending a ton of money on the maglev battery wise, like getting pluses or pluses unless you're just rolling in it. Because a regular two regular batteries for the maglev A and B will last you a damn long time on all-rounder. So before you have to worry about them. Gravity and oxygen are the most detrimental. Gravity you could turn off, but to me the pain in the butt of everything kind of floating around and falling everywhere kind of just annoys me too much, just personally. That's just me as a player. Dude, but if you do want to min-max it, you could just turn it off. When you're driving, just make sure you have everything in those cases. Here's a tip though, if you are going to run that strategy, but even if you buy if you do the trader thing and want to buy stuff for cheap and sell it more expensive somewhere else at some of the shops, make sure you have containers to put that stuff in. Because if you turn your gravity off and that stuff goes in the air and falls, it's going to damage it, reducing its price that it's worth. So, just make sure you have them in containers. Then it's just, if you don't care about the containers floating all over the cabin, then you're okay. It's and then you wouldn't have to use even less battery money if you wanted to run it that way. I like having gravity on. I turn off all the lights. I definitely do that. I learned this from Tam King, by the way. Big shout out to him in chat right now, too. But I had a mission where I needed to deliver spice in my hidden cargo hatch. I have not done that yet. Where's that at? There's a hidden hatch? I haven't even learned about that yet. See, Tam King's already doing chaos. I'm gonna call them chaos deliveries. It's for the chaos lords. And see, I didn't even know there was a thing. I knew there was some. The fact that there's inspection scans in some of the stops, my brain's like, there must be a pirate cargo option to be able to deliver stuff that you may not be greatly above board. But turn the suit off at the breaker too until you need it. That's a good point too. Yeah, because the suit's kind of useless unless you get in and out of it. That's a good point. Good call, Tam King. I'll remember that one. I didn't think about that too. Because I can turn off all the lights at the dashboard where I'm sitting at my driver's seat. I just turn them all off. There's no point in lights while you're driving. It's gonna be dark in there, but unless you're gonna get up out of your seat, there's no reason. You can just turn them on turn the ones you need on when you get up. Otherwise, also, one quick tip, even though they're expensive as hell, make sure you have all 4 of your filters running from the very beginning of the game as soon as you get enough money to get the ones that are missing. There are 2 missing. One on the right side, one on the left side. If you do this, your air filter system will last free ungodly amount of time. Like, we're talking holy crud. But if you turn off, let's see, if you turn off those things, your core batteries will drain much faster. Yes, agreed. And that's what I put my pluses in, by the way. And that on top of if you know which batteries you want to use for each system, I use pluses in oxygen, gravity, and core. Because they will last forever, a lot more, even if you're overusing them. But if you're using the strategies that we just said, you'll get a lot of the bang for your buck out of it, especially as you level up and make more money off of some of the deliveries that you've decided to take up. But you don't have to do one thing. As you level up, you unlock all of the different types of deliveries, and then you can either be well-rounded and just do a little bit of everything, or you can technically hardcore, I've noticed, if you want to just go that route and just become a certain type of delivery truck or a big rig truck with certain type of cargo that you specialize in, and just kind of get most money out of that. Now, if you want to make early game money, I do recommend that. If you want to make the most money the fastest, pick one of the ones you want the most and go straight for that and do not look back. Because there's upgrades for each of them that make them earn more money, and other things that will let you have more cargo space, more weight you can have inside the cabin, which I found out the hard way in the weighing station. That's how that works. Because I'm used to weighing stations be more about the trailer and what it's supposed to weigh in as with the truck. But but when I went in there, I had to get rid of a thing of gasoline because I was being over prepared. I bought like an extra canister of gas, but I've realized I make enough money as long as I don't let it go to empty. Like if I let it go down to a quarter or half, kind of like in real life, it's not really that expensive. I make more money with how many deliveries I can make in that time with a full tank to that point that it doesn't really take much of my money. So. Now, if I'm trying to do max hauling and trying to get as much money as possible, then I will push it a little bit over the boundary and take a little bit of more of the price, but for more profit as well. So, but, all right, let's get in it, all rounder. Let's show off the tutorial and then we'll load our file.
This is a 1044, the big rig that just broke down in Onyx.
Which is me.
Looks like you're leaking a whole lot of lung juice there, buddy. You might want to take a walk and patch those.
Hold on, my face is in a bad spot. We're going to be moving this around in the first stream quite a bit until I figure out where I really want it. Because that's blocking my objectives. Although that's going to block my oxygen. Hold on. Maybe I can go in the middle for this one. Right there. Okay. Alright, welcome to the ship, chat. Welcome. We'll organize all that in a minute. We have to go outside and fix the holes. So, pop outside and make repairs. I will say on the console control, this is so much easier. Like, I got a little bit disoriented trying to learn how to use my access control with the mouse, because the mouse is so sensitive with the first person in space. I forget my legs, or I have legs. Also, kudos to this developer too, which is why I'm impressed with this being a smaller team. I actually have legs. Like clearly, that was my legs that hit the roof of the or hit the bonnet of the truck, and I flipped over almost. All right, time to organize. Gotta do this fast, so we don't have to sit here too long. Now, this is what I was meaning, by the way, chat. As you can tell, I've already played this. Oh, wait, we already have an air filter. Hold on. Let's go ahead and replace. Is it this one? Oh, it won't let me see that yet, will it? No. Okay. So we can't do that yet. So what else do I need to put in there for now? You're a plus. You're a, so we need to put that in grav once it starts to go down. But we'll try to go to our first area. So for now, let's store them. Make sure they are safe. We don't want these damaged. Problem is, you don't start with a lot of containers, so a lot of this might get busted. I'm gonna try to properly stack these just a little, so that way if we do lose gravity earlier, ooh, this is why you put them in containers. Data cables work quite a lot. Can I put that in here? Nah, it's too big. So we're gonna actually put you on this side. Same thing for these grow packs. They're like plant things for like growing plants and stuff. Put you there. Ah, okay. So let me go see if the suit is charged real quick. Not quite. So we'll come back to it and shut it off once that's back to full power. Let's get back in the suit. We're good otherwise for now. There's not much we can do.
All patched up? Good. Now, before you get back on the road, it might be wise to check your CB radio.
Although I'm at 21% already with grav. I think it'll make it if I remember correctly. We'll keep an eye on it. If you see this symbol, pick up your mic. Hold R2 to view a list of responses. Then press triangle, square, X to select your reply. Put the mic back once you're done to gain control of your truck
Grab
again.
your headset and give me a holler. I'll let you know if you're coming through. That's a 10-2, partner. Loud and clear. With that done, I guess you should be on your way.
Yep, now we're learning how to drive. So press R2 to accelerate using main thrusters. To brake in reverse, press L2. Use left analog stick to fire maneuvering thrusters and turn the truck. L1 and R1 to roll left and right. You can switch to external view with D-pad.
The jump gate up ahead should get you where you need to go.
31%, it'll make it.
On the other side.
If we go, with my speed and the way I drive, it'll make it. Don't want to hit anybody. Alright, Chad, let's prime. I'm speeding. Whoopsies. Forgot it's 85. I think it's 85 past this point is what it is. Which makes sense since we're going into a gate. Oh, it's going to do the first one for me. Okay. I forgot about that. I could have just parked it. I see I've done it so many times. Now it's just instant. Jump gates allow you to move between locations within the galaxy. With your truck correctly aligned with the gate will automatically power up. Once all gate lights are green, use the lever above your head to make the jump. We're going 200 miles an hour, chat. I feel like that's not accurate. I feel like it's much faster than that in space.
Calling in from the DIV.
Oh,
Glad to see you finally made it. We've already got a drop zone warmed up and waiting for you. So just head on over to the waypoint, detach your trailer in the designated area, and I'll make sure your payment gets processed ASAP.
Roger, roger. The other thing you need to be careful of, I've learned, is that these AI that run around the station that are not in a highway are squirrely as hell. So be careful. Sometimes they will run into you, and they'll charge you for it. So be careful as you go through these areas. That's why you see me not speeding up like that. You see how he quickly turned? That's why I'm staying kind of high until we get close to the loading bay to drop off. Because I've realized there's certain heights and levels vertically that the AI does not go into. So you can kind of use that as your travel zone and while you're near stations. If you're trying to go a little bit faster, especially during faster deliveries. Alright, drive your cargo to its designated drop zone to complete the haulage contract. The drop zone will change color to indicate the trailer is within a safe area. Because, see, the little ones come up here more than the big ones do. They're the only ones you still kind of have to keep an eye out. Most of the trucks stay on the lower end. Because you see how he's below me. Alright, so this is why I've got to be very slow about this. We can't be speeding this way. Because if we go slow enough, the AI will have time to stop. That's why I don't want to plow in front of someone at the last second. I think we're clear. Let's bring it in. Turn off the truck's mag lock system to unhitch from trailers. This can be done by using the mag lock lever inside the cabin. Make sure the entire trailer comes to a stop within the highlighted green zone, or you will not get paid. And there it is. 752 for the first one. Just almost enough to
Great
level
job.
up.
Payment should already be with you. But if you feel like spending some of that hard-earned cash, just head on over to Palmview Station. You'll find they've got
Which,
supplies,
how much do we have? We do need to actually head
a
over
few
there
jobs
now.
on the board, and the best home-cooked soya protein inside of Alpha Centauri.
Oh, there's a truck beneath us. I just saw his, Oh, and now we can put the air filters in. But we're not going to get the first air filter. We've got one for free. 3 will do for now. So we're just going to go over here just so I can show y'all how buying stuff works and trading. And then we're going to load my profile that already has all this done. Let's see. Let me read what I missed some chat. Let's see. There's also truck upgrades. I'll recommend upgrading the suit a couple of times first as it makes it lasts longer and uses less battery. There's also skill tree upgrades for the suit that does that too. There's some skills in the skill tree that do that. That's interesting. So there's double on that one. Let's see. Put the crate on the shelf and then open it. It will wedge it. Really? Tam King found exploits that. Tam King is a true pirate truck driver. He's like, he's found every way to maximize not having to have gravity on. That is insane. Good to know, though. In a realistic hyperway, there would be a million more ships traveling these lanes, with hundreds of kilometers long cargo ships going from planet to planet. In space, there is no limit to how big you can make your ship. That's true. Well, except for money and resources to build the ship, but yes, you are correct. Let's see. You should see me. You should see me. I fly into these zones at full speed, and always push in front of the AI. Oh man, you must work. What was it, Burrow? What was that guy's name? That sour candy. I don't know. You've done a mission for sour candy at this point. Then clearly you know who sour candy is as one of the characters in this game, and her boss that she works for. You must be well acquainted with him. It's the best thing about no gravity is I don't even need to get up for what? For the loot. Oh, I can aim to move it as like a bullet. That is hilarious. Where is that even in this? Is that in this truck? Now that you've learned the basics, we've enabled the dashboard controls and core truck systems. For further information, please take time to read the user manual located in the glove compartment. Happy trucking. Okay. Yeah, look, there he is. I don't want to run into him and get fined. At least he's a small one, so he'll go pretty fast. Tim King must be like push 180 to 160 in here if he's passing everybody that easily. I will say the AI does seem to have an issue on this side of the driving. I could just push ahead of him like over the top, but realistically, if you're good, you can kind of sit in the middle. No one goes down the middle. My stomach's being a little weird. You okay in there? Oh no, my stomach's being a little ooh. Hold on, chat. 1 second. Uh-oh. After we do the tutorial, I might have to split this into 2 parts. Oh, you okay in here?
Some of the shit's gonna be thrown away in there. You just keep getting more and more. Don't eat none of it.
We've been eating a lot of fast food. Okay, I thought it was an actual emergency, but okay.
What?
Nothing.
Don't say it out damn loud.
Mm-hmm. Remember to sell the non-essentials. It started you with. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. That's what I'm gonna show off in this. We already got rid of them in my other playthrough, anyways. So it's a parking bay. Use the docking camera to align with the truck with the docking bay. Maneuver close enough to the maglock system becomes available. When you're in position, pull the maglock lever and the lock will lever to lock with the target. Oh, hold on. Wait, why does it show parking bay and not missions? Am I just supposed to park there to mark this as a shop? It's been I actually kind of forgot because I've actually made it past the tutorial pretty decently. Hold on. This is where I'm supposed to be, right? Did I go the wrong way? Pretty sure it just wants me to park there, so I'm gonna park there for now. Because parking is usually marked blue, not yellow. So I assume that's my objective. Alright, back inside. Alright. Oh yeah, cruise control. I've got to learn how to activate that. I haven't used it yet. Hold on. First, let's show the job board. Job boards provide a list of contracts available. As you earn certification skills, the list will expand, giving you access to new job types and cargo to haul. Keep in mind that bonuses and deductions will differ between job types, and harsh penalties will be issued for abandoning hauls or canceling jobs. Okay. Three Kings is really far. Edgeboro is where I normally drop a lot of my stuff off at. Three Kings. Emerald Junction. But most of these are 2 jumps. Although Three Kings is 1 jump. Oh, my face is in the way of how much it's paying. There is no good spot for my face in this game. So far. Let's try here for now. That might get in the way of some of my stuff in my dashboard, but we'll see. By 10? Ooh, that would be a close one. But that'd get us a good starting amount of money. That would be easier to do. Does that pay me more? It does. There's really no point doing that other one if this pays me more. I think we want this one to Emerald Junction because this pays a decent, good starting amount of money. So this one, except... Okay, but before we unhitch, we need to... Oh, wait, we have to unhitch. Hold on.
Break for barrel, break for barrel. This is Red
Oh,
Eddie cooking
hold
out
on.
here.
Red Eddie talking.
This is Barrow. Go ahead. What can I do for you, mate?
Barrow, that's his name.
I'm looking for info on the express.
Wonder if I can do... Right
Last I
there.
heard, it was a parking lot out there.
Yeah, that's pretty okay.
Now we're in the galaxy, you hear that? clear out here as far as the eye can see. Heard from Dusty Bear, our own set of apple ears. Alright, you caught me. Just reading the mail here at the pit stop. Those sheriff instincts die hard, don't they, old bear? Now, who you calling old, Ace? You've been out here just as long as I've been.
Look how big that one is. Three
Listen to you two
long.
turkeys arguing again.
Those are gonna be hard to drive.
Oh, it's just a coffee break, Eddie. Ain't no one out here with us anyway. Whoa. Sounds like the newcomer made it across from Onyx in one piece. A fresh-faced freelancer. Well, I'll be. You got a handle, pal? Well, you'll need one if you're gonna be driving out here.
Cargo's up there, so then we need to go this way.
You know, on account of the serendipity of our meeting. Pretty sure there's a tough break in next month. Right. Break. Jake. I reckon Lucky Jay could work. Lucky Jay it is, then. Blimey, it feels like a big old jamboree with all this chatter. Don't you have somewhere to be, Barrow?
Oh.
Yeah. I got a
Yeah,
cold
that's
drink
what I
that's
thought. I
gonna
gotta
go.
stop.
Keep the shiny side up and the greasy side down, fellas. Will do. Mrs. Red Eddie down and gone. Big H, boys. Safe travels.
It's this one, right? Plus. Put this up under here for the moment because I'm gonna turn gravity off. They can go around, so they won't run into us. Alright, turn it off. Looks like the gravity compensator is down. Oh no! Who would have thought that I didn't just deactivate it? Let me bring that back down. That's gonna get really hurt. I do want to at least try to sell some of it. This scrap. That was oxygen, so. There we go. Yeah, barely hurt it. Good. Now we can put it in here and sell it when we get to the destination. Alright. Okay. Alright, we should be good. You're going on the bottom. Alright. It's not a full battery, but it's better than the one we had, so we don't have to spend money yet. And that'll get us through this delivery, and we can load my file. Okay, let's go. We are going to split it in 2 episodes, though, because I got to take a quick break after we do this. So I'm going to kind of rush through this chat. Yeah, so we doing the risky route and going tempting strategy. So we don't hit anybody. We are most definitely speeding. Oh, so I don't hit my roof. Switch to your docking camera and approach carefully. Once you're within range and align correctly with your maglock lever to or activate your maglock lever to hitch to the trailer. Stop. Okay, so now we rotate. Alright, press touchpad to access the galactic map at any time. From here, you can plan your delivery routes and view information about locations. Here we're going to go to Medusa, then down to Emerald. It would have done that no matter what, but eventually you will have to set up your route, because there'll be multiple ways you'll unlock that you'll be able to go eventually. Alright. So this is where what Temp King was talking about becomes a little bit of weirdness. So I've got to get over there, right? So that means I have to go, if I remember correctly, Palm View Station, then back to Medusa 6. And you can play in third person if you decide to. This will make it easier not to run into the AI if you want to be tricksy and kind of go real fast. This would probably be the more meta thing to do. Wow, that guy got ran into. So I think, yeah, I've got to go down here and then... Yeah, I've got to go all the way around. So this is what I mean about this part doesn't show you, it just points straight that way. But if you were to do that, we'd run into a billion different little meteorites and destroy ourselves. So what it doesn't tell you you're supposed to do is go through this ring of Spaceway Highway, go down that ring, and then back up this ring to get back up there. So that's the part I do think that maybe could use just a bit of improvement, is the guiding someone to their routes. By the way, that's where we're heading when I come back for the second part of the episode here in a little bit, once we take a quick break. It won't be that long of a break in between the episodes. It'll be maybe like 30 minutes at best, worse an hour, but before I start the other episode back up. He's carrying concrete slabs. The irony. Can't escape them. Well, actually, it might be containers, but it looks like slabs. Those are a thing. There's concrete block-like slabs. I delivered them last night with my first delivery. Okay, so I've got to go to New Liberty and then back. Okay, so this is where we're going to speed a little bit. We're going to try to get ahead of this truck so we can be a little faster on the next highway. wasn't small enough to, it wasn't big enough to hurt us. That's why I took that chance. Running into other vehicles does more damage than anything, to be fair, but unless you hit a massive asteroid, you know, that's to be expected. By the way, R3, oh yeah, switches camera again. Wait, R3. How do I go back to exterior? It doesn't do anything for me. You can change the angle of the camera if that's what you mean. Which, once again, if you're in third person and you're trying to go fast, like, that's probably what I should be doing to speed this up, is just do this. We don't need to worry about our systems, I just need to worry about not hitting anything and driving. So, I do wish, though, in this mode, you had a speedometer or something at the bottom right of your screen to show how fast your truck is going so you can kind of keep track of it. So I do kind of wish it did that. You can rotate it with this. You can do that too. Alright, now we gotta go up this highway. Whoa. Pass underneath these. We gotta take that up to Medusa 6. Gotta be careful. There's some larger debris down here. Small debris is fine. Large debris is what I worry about. Oh. See what I mean about the AI. See, if that had been first person, I might have kept pulling up and I would have hit him. That's why if you're trying to speed run, third person. Wait, is this the right one? That's Harmony Link. No, wait, where's Medusa's entrance? I missed my turn off. Medusa's over here. I accidentally missed my turn off. Like, I can only imagine my speed right now. Like, I have barely slowed down. I'll have to slow down to make this turn. It should zoom camera in and out. It's not doing that for me. That's weird. I don't know. There we go. Oh, you have to press it multiple times. Okay. See, that barely looked any different. That's how I didn't know it was changing. Ah, that's better. Okay, see, I did it a couple times. That's why I wasn't doing it. I thought it barely moved the camera the first time I pressed it, so I didn't know it even did anything. we're actually barely doing over even at the speed limit. The truck is pretty slow in the beginning, to be fair. It takes a long time for it to get to anything above 150. Now in the 85-mile-an-hour zones, we're definitely speeding. Can you do that in here too? No, it just centers my view back. I do wish you could like zoom out the perspective a little bit. I wonder if there's a field of view option. Because I do think that my guy is like, it's like he's got binocular vision through his window a little bit. Actually, let's see if that is a thing real quick. Options. Camera drift. Okay. Doesn't. Oh, field of view. I can't remember if up or you want up, right? We want more field of view. Let's go 60. Oh, that's much better. Oh yeah, I might even go up 60, 65, just because that way I can see my mirrors. Because I need to be able to be centered and see my left and right mirrors. Or I say mirrors, AV screens, in order to see if there's something on the left and right of me. Get lined up. Speed limits in space. I know, that's also something that makes me laugh. I don't know how you'd regulate that. Just because with there being no gravity and all that, nothing to slow things down, it'd be easy as hell to go stupid fast. So to get Express 25, we gotta head to the business hub. I remember that. So I'm gonna mess with that field of view just a bit further. Let's go up like 66, which I like. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, see when I start hitting the gas, now I can see both. And I can see my dashboard. Now we're a Star Trucker, Harry. So we've got to line up behind, we're going to have to cut this other one off if we can go fast enough. We got to line up behind this teal one. I hope that's not a truck about to hit me. I think we're good though. Also, when you get on the express highway, you do get charged a bit of money. I will say that. That's why eventually you unlock back routes, but it'll take you more jumps. If you're not on a time limit, you can do that to make more money. Alright. Drop off recycled textiles at Bay EJ. Okay, over there. See, I've never been here, so I don't know which way to go. Looks like the trucks are heading this way. I kind of use the AI to kind of see where the safe zones are. And where they're traveling, they're not going through the meteorites as much as possible. It does look like this area is more dangerous than the other ones, though. Do I have to... This is a way station. Do I need to go through it? I wasn't told to, so I'll just pass over it. I don't know where the safe roads are in this thing. So we're just gonna take it slow and watch for medium to large size debris. Because that's 1.5 miles. Does it just want me to fly straight at that? I don't see a highway. This is what I mean about certain things maybe need to be slightly marked a little better. I'm just gonna have to go straight there. I don't see no designated route. So I think it's just this area. You just have to be a little more cautious. There's a lot of junk flying around this place. Oh, we gotta back it in. Okay, hold on. So here's what I'm gonna do. We gotta do like true space trucking now. True space trucking. I've got to actually line myself up properly so the turn won't be as bad, and I can basically make a U-turn, pulling the trailer around and backing it in. So I'm gonna want my backup camera. Where's my backup camera? Wait, what? Because I don't. Okay, I guess I'll just have to use that then. I forget I don't have one because I have the lift already, or the maglev's already engaged. Problem is remembering that it's backwards when it comes to this. It's very touchy. No. Which way is it? Which way is it? Ah! Damn it. Sometimes I start pulling in that direction and I don't realize I'm doing it until it's too late and I'm going in the wrong direction. I'm gonna do, here's what we'll do. We'll do it like this. So what I want to do is back in and then pull forward. Problem is I don't know how close to that building I'm getting. It'd be nice to have a camera on the back of the trailer. Okay, we should be able to pull forward now. If I do this, and I rotate, I should be able to pull it straight and just drop it in the corner over here. Come on, pull it in there. There it is. Now we stop. And ditch. Careless driving. Okay, I guess because I hit that one little tiny pipe. Okay, well, it's 19 bucks. That doesn't, that's literally nothing. Wow, that leveled me up. Why did that level me up so fast? What the hell? I just got 3 skill points. It leveled me up further than it did in the other, than in my own playthrough. The frick? Well, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go to mine anyways. But what the heck? Why did that one give me so much XP? Right, okay. Sure. Alright. Now, we could unlock a certification and do one of the stories, but the story missions aren't really that. They're just the same thing of what I just did, essentially. But there's just, you get a little bit of dialogue. But we're not really missing much. So I think that's where, as far as this one's concerned, we'll kind of hold for this truck. But hold on. The one thing I do want to show how to do real quick, for anyone who's not sure about this. So when you first start your truck, for tips of everyone just starting, this air filter doesn't have one in it, and I think it's this one. Yeah. So both of those are empty. Now, this isn't too detrimental, but the more of these you have active at a higher quality, the slower the air filter and oxygen distributor, or the less hard the oxygen distributor has to work. We must be near a jump gate. But yeah, basically the less a oxygen distributor has to work, the more functional air filters that are in it. Now, is there any shops here is the thing. Well, if there's gonna be any, it's either gonna be there. What is that station called? Let's go over here to Tiger Rock Station and see what they have. I just want to get a store so I can show how selling stuff works real quick before we wrap this this part up, and we go, oh boy. And we go, okay, there's a job board here, but that's not what I need. Although if you were trying to be efficient, you just want to take jobs wherever you are, just like ATS. Is there anything but a job board here? Or is it the other station? It must be the other station. That's the other station. Okay, so let's head over to Goodman Tower, I would assume. Because hopefully, if there's a shop here. Actually, we can check if there's a shop here at all by zooming in. It'll at least show that there is a shop here somewhere. Think you need to do a couple of story missions to unlock the hidden cargo hatch. Ah, okay. I hope they have an option to join the MCRN. I always love their aesthetic in the show. Tam King, did you see the trailer for the Expanse game coming out? I heard about that. There's some very good stuff coming out now, coming out soon. We'll also show refueling how it works as well, but there's the shop we're looking for. Because I want to show how shops work, and then we'll show how refueling works, and then we'll load my file where I've done a little bit more. Or we'll load my file when I come back. But yeah, there's a lot of space games coming out. There's apparently a lot of dinosaur games now coming out too. I did not know about. There's one that I want to play that's like it really reminds me of Turok. Like heavily gives me Turok vibes. And I want to. It's called Claude or something. I think it's called Claude or something like that, like CLAWED kind of thing. All right, we need to sell stuff. My face is just never gonna not be in the way, huh? It's either gonna block the CB radios. I'm just gonna have to block my money, and I'm gonna have to like. It's either that or block the objective, but yeah, that might be okay. Because to be fair, it marks where the final drop-offs of everything is. You just have to figure out the highways and stuff. So that's okay. I think we're gonna leave my face right here. So we'll go right here. So let's sell stuff, not that. You're 100. We need to sell you. Woo! We're actually getting a profit for some of these. That one got slightly damaged. See what I have? See what I have? And that's only for 1 point of damage. It's now $20 less than this one. That's how extensive it is. You do not want things falling against the ground if you're gonna do like trading like this. You definitely want a bunch of these containers. Which sadly they're not selling one right now. All we want is a filter just to show how this works and show what you really need to do early game to get yourself started. And maybe 2 of those cheap batteries. No more than that though, because we've already got 1 good battery. We don't need too many right now. We're gonna have to do a full replacement soon, but we can get away. You can technically get away with 1 to 2 more jobs before you really have to worry about that. But do make sure after each job, if there's shops near you, check them. Because if you got enough money, you're looking for pluses for like your oxygen and gravity and core systems. You can get away with a regular plus for core systems in the beginning pretty reasonably, to be fair. And they'll last quite a while if you're doing the strats like turning off all the lights and stuff and turning off the suit charger when you're not going to use the suit at all. And that way you can conserve even more there. But okay, let's sell all this stuff. We're not making a profit there, but that's fine. Well, I'm not making heavy profit. It's technically under its value, but it'll be enough for what we're doing it for. Same thing there. Most of these prices are. Oof, see, that's a little annoying that's that low. That's like a $200-300 loss. But because this is a tutorial and I've already been through all this, and I sold this stuff at max profit before I got rid of it for each one, just to make sure I had extra. You don't have to do that. You can just do what I'm about to do and be fine. Sell that. Never sell your gas because you do want at least one of these on hand. They weigh a lot though, so you notice we have a max weight at the top right we're allowed to have in the cabin. If we go through a weigh station and that's above that, you're gonna get fined. Or they'll force you, well, 2 things. You can either take the fine or you'll have to ditch something. And I didn't want to lose any money that early game, so I just ditched the extra canister I had. Because I had 2 of these because I was trying to be too over prepared. You don't want to buy too much at once when you're doing things. Only kind of what you're trying to stock up for actual use. Because we've got 4,000 in profit right now. So that means we can actually probably won't be spending too much money realistically. See, filters here though are extremely expensive. This is another thing you want to try to be careful of too, is buying air filters at increased prices really can hurt you extremely. So we're actually not going to buy that. That's too expensive. Batteries are slightly up, but only by $10. So these are worth buying, like, for that price, actually, probably all 3. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do that to show that. So see how we barely spent 3,000? Now, if we added that on it, we'd actually start, like, losing. We'd actually, like, we still wouldn't be losing money. Here's the funny thing is, we sold so much, I could technically buy this, and we'd still be making $100. But you don't want to like fully punch yourself in the face. So this is a good profit. We're getting 3 batteries and we're still making $3,000 off of what we sold. So if you game the market right and kind of also make your deliveries, you can get a lot of money early game. So, but there's all kinds of things you can, like, you see, like there's even sodas and beers and stuff. I don't think your character actually uses any of this, which would be kind of cool if that was a thing. Maybe for the next game, like the sequel, if they ever make a Star Trekker 2. I do think that maybe they should have, don't make it detrimental. You can put a setting in there if they want to be extreme about it, but I wouldn't mind somewhat of a thirst kind of bar to have to every now and then maybe dip into what, like, grab a pack of energy drinks out of my supply, and it'd be kind of cool. But now I'm gonna buy this. Do not do this if you're starting off. We are going to buy this filter because I do have enough, and we're not sticking with this file. If we were sticking with this file, I'd do this because this would we'd immediately have 8,000 credits, and we have barely done anything. This start definitely had a better start, but that's fine. I'm fine with going back to my other one. So we're gonna buy that just to show how it works. Okay, let's confirm trade. All right, now something efficiently I learned how to do. So is this my energy one? No, that's my UCCs. Okay. So you want to take your container up here just to make it easier to load, so you're not carrying everything individually downstairs. That's not what I wanted. Because these aren't the plus batteries, these are the cheap batteries. But cheap batteries will hold you at least in the beginning if you want to try to make profit and just be switching them a little bit more often. And this you can just put directly in, which is what I'm going to do. Okay. I forgot to shut the door. So now I have to run back up there. Sometimes even I forget certain things. Okay. So let's shut the door. Good. Let's go turn the suit breaker off for now. Just to show, like, you would want to, this is where you would start to want to be efficient. So you're not going to use the suit for a while, and that thing's going to be fully charged by now. Turn that off to conserve on core energy. I don't know how much the climate regulator actually affects anything yet. I haven't figured out if this is worth keeping on yet or not. I know there's going to be certain areas that are going to be colder in space, and they're going to have more problems atmospherically, and like certain storms and stuff, and things like that that'll reduce temperature. During those points, you want to have it turned on. But I'm like, going through these areas in the beginning, I'm wondering if it's worth keeping that on, but I'm not sure. Not sure. This isn't unlocked yet. Shock pad access, pod access. I don't know what that is. I haven't figured out what that does. You can't sleep, it looks like. Oh, no, there you go. So if you want to sleep, you can either do it in here or go park somewhere and sleep there. I assume the toilet's underneath this. Alright, let's show off gasoline now. So I'm going to show you the stat changes that we have. So you see how powerful your cab oxygen efficiency is now? And how little the percentages have dropped on the other two that didn't get replaced now? The more of them that are functioning at once, the less that it'll damage the others. Unless something happens, like you get caught in an electrical storm that can damage various subsystems, or you ram into things and things like that that can be damaging. Where's my... There it is. So you can see we're starting to have a battery problem. So this is where you'd want to use most of that money we just earned if we were going to go to, what's it called? What's happening here? Oh, it's telling me, so it's telling me my suit charger's offline. That's fine. But yeah, so what I would do now is I would take those batteries I just got and temporarily put them in the in all the main ones, the grav, the oxygen, and the core A and B. Now that it'd be lesser batteries than what's in there, but it would get you through your next job, and then you need to try to seek out um what do you call it? Then you would need to try to seek out uh uh uh, uh better batteries to replace them for in the future. Now you could probably the core is okay. That you can probably get if since I've been running with lights and everything on like I wasn't supposed to. So if you do this, and outside lights, I don't know. We can turn off the drive assist. Switching off drive assist will disable the truck's automatic stabilization system. I just want to see what this does. We're not going to keep this on. Oh, so it'll let me spin. I would have to control it myself constantly. That would be real simulator scary if you wanted to do that. Like this would be like really having to learn how to really pilot in space, like realistic space physics. This saves on fuel but requires manual momentum correction. Interesting. To safely navigate a sector. So I want to see what that looks like. Oh, right. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I see what's happening. I would have to like brake more. Oh yeah, and the roll is a lot more powerful. Okay. Yeah, the drift is pretty heavy. Yeah, I don't, without strafing, I don't see that being as efficient to be able to like you see how we're still drifting even though I'm pushing this way? Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Oh, also, oh, I see. You know what else it does? So how would I fix that? I would have to turn completely this way and do this, right? Yeah, that's hard. It would take a long time to be able to control that. Because you essentially have to point towards the direction you're starting to drift in and counter correct it. So like that, right? Oh man, yeah, see, wow. Yeah, stopping would be a pain in the butt, so yeah, we're not gonna do that. But but that's cool. Oh yeah, there's cruise control. Oh, you can up its speed. That I like. Question, does it set at whatever speed I'm going to? Now we're doing a cruise control test. So let's go fast up to like 80, right above 85. So it'll drop down. Yep, it stays at 85. And then I can control it with that if I wanted. And just kind of drift through. That's pretty cool. All right, cool. What else we got? We got emergency. Oh yeah, I wanted to see what this looks like. We're gonna go real fast. I want to see what the emergency brake, because I heard the Lamito accidentally pulled this. He said it was terrible. I want to see what happens. That truck is. Oh, we're oriented wrong. We're upside down. I mean, there's no upside down, I guess, fully in space, technically, to be fair. But, alright. But you see that, you know what that does? That bleeds your oxygen system to do that. Interesting. Yeah, so it's only 24% full now, power-wise. I wonder how you fill that back up. Alright, well, let's head back for gas now. I want to show that off before we quit out. You see, oxygen has a battery, so I wonder what that is. Is that like butane or like air pressure? Where is that located in the truck? Because it looks like it's not going back up on its own. I wonder if the fuel fills that back up. This will be a good test for me too, because I've never played around with the emergency air brake. So let's see what happens when we go get some fuel. Also, did these do anything? Blower? Oh, you can turn those down. How? Is that what this is? Oh, that's how you tell how cold it is. I see that now. Whoa. Whoa, what the hell? Why did it just emergency brake automatically? So it looks like it still just does fuel, but to show you how expensive it can get, once again, also some true realism in this game, gas prices change. And they're different depending on the area. And like total realism, this game has more than most games that are actually trying to be real, which is funny. So I'm gonna fill this up to full. So that was 1,200. It's not too bad, but some jobs, if you know, like some jobs barely make you 1,800. If you get there quick enough, you can get up to 2,000 from it. But that's killing at least 55 to 60% of your profit just on gas if you let it get that low. You kind of want to fill it up when it gets to like that first, like halfway at worst. Like don't let it get below half, but you really want to fill it up at that like from the full notch to the fourth notch going upwards. That little notch, the second little notch, basically. You really don't want to go further down than that if you can, uh, if you can help it. Now, if you're going to be making a lot of money on a run and it's going to be a long run and it's going to pay you good, then just let it go wherever it's going to go. But you said I left on the airlock? No, it unlocked. What do you mean? Did I? What? No, nothing's turned on. Ah, okay. Cold. I mean, it's hot. It's hot as hell outside, apparently. Is this near a sun? I don't see a negative in front of that, so. So it's 50. Cold brings it down to 50 degrees. Salvage beacon? What? What is that? Wait, where did that go? It disappeared. What the? Okay, I've never seen this chat. This is new to me. Let's check this out real quick before we end. That this free cargo to sell? Tell me it is. Oh my goodness, I need to be looking out for this. Yes. Pull up a little closer. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, hold on. Well, we'll just do it as an example, but because we're losing energy, we would have to change all our batteries. Let me turn those lights on because we're gonna need them to be able to see what we're doing, and I gotta turn suit charger back on because we're gonna need it. All right. It's a container. Grab. Whoa! Sit still. I gotta grab that battery before it gets away. That's a good battery too. Oh, then you can find batteries here? Oh, yes. Where do I put this? How do I get this inside the truck? Do I just take it to the hatch? Do I just drop them all in the airlock and then eventually go back in? I don't know actually. Oh no, I'll carry it with me. Okay. Alright. Oh, it's gonna eject it though. Hold on. So sadly, we do when we don't have a container. So we should probably bring a container. So if we're gonna do salvaging, empty container bringing with us outside would be a really good call, because then we could put stuff in it. So let's go see what's in that container. Container first, then we'll come back. Well, actually, let's stabilize it in front of us and let's open it and see what's in it. There's nothing in it. So we could actually technically put whatever that is in it. Honestly, those like fireworks or something. That might be illegal contraband though. Star Blaster. Ah, that's the problem with this. Is the crate wants to like. Oh wow, that took up the whole crate. Okay, never mind. I'd rather carry that individually inside. I know oxygen's getting low. But I'm trying to do this fast. I don't want to have to recharge the suit and go back out. This is where suit upgrades would be really important, like Tam King said. Go down here and get whatever this is in front of the truck. Oh, it's a pack of energy drinks. That I will put in the container so we can bring both in at the same time. I think I might save this file and turn this into a pirate truck. This is getting really, really out of hand. Because this didn't happen on my first time. But hey, we've got a container for extra stuff now. Let's take this downstairs. I want to take this stuff individually down. So what's the lowest? Holy crap, oxygen is the lowest. Let's go ahead and just replace oxygen now. Hold on. It'll take a minute for it to dissipate. So if we do this, we gotta be fast. Oh, ah. Gotta go turn it back on before I pass out. Alright, we'll bring this down here for selling purposes. You're going over here because you're the extras box now. Your dead battery, you go on the bottom right. We've got 4 charged batteries. What needs them? I'm going to go ahead and actually fix the truck. Just because I'm going to keep this save file for a pirate playthrough if I ever decide to do a pirate setup. Because I wasn't necessarily planning on doing that with the other one. We'll see what happens with the other one eventually as well, but I'll keep this one as backup. Do we have any pluses? No, we do not. So it's going to have to be a lesser one. Alright. Let's take that one. Just let it go for now. Now we gotta replace the core batteries. Everything's secured? No, wait, hold on, you're not. I should have been paying attention to you. Oh, you're explosives! Yeah, we need to sell these here. We cannot keep these with us. We'll see how much they go for as a test. Yes, I know power's down. It'll be back up in just a second. There we go. Back to 100. It'd probably trip some circuits, but we'll handle that. Nope, actually the circuits are fine. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. I kind of forgot to turn power off when I did that because I should have went and done whoop. Because that can cause an overload. Okay, so everything is semi-normal now. Maglev can handle out for a while. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, let me check the UCCs. You're fine, you're halfway. You're over halfway. I don't think these have UCCs now. Unless on the bottom. Is there a bottom? No. So... my brain. Oh, yours, right. Yours is a bit questionable, but we'll leave it. It's close enough to halfway. Alright, we're good there. Let's head over to the shop and see what these explosives are worth. Yeah, we drifted too far. It'll still lock us in, but I like to try to be a little bit more like lined up. There we go. Yeah, it'll auto correct, but still. The correct term is smuggling. By the way, you don't need to turn the O2 off when changing batteries. Oh, okay. I just know I know certain things explode, so I didn't want to take that chance. Oh, this shop doesn't buy this. Well, we can't keep this. We'll get we'll get in trouble. I don't know where to. I'd have to go to Burroughs' place, wouldn't I? I'll have to check that. We'll save it anyways when we get done with this. Let's sell those dead batteries. This is the best use of these dead batteries because you'll get at least almost 1,000 out of these sometimes when you sell them. This was close, about 780. But yeah, we should sell. Oh well, these aren't worth much, but wow, there's a storm coming in. All right. And that basically almost made some of our money back that we spent on gas and stuff. So, with everything being slightly upgraded, except for the suit, but I don't care about the suit. I do have a battery if the suit really goes down, which let's unhitch. All right, stop. Oh no, let's pull away so it's not thinking I'm trying to go into the store. There it goes. Okay. Alright, so what I want to check? I wanted to check. My brain got a little distracted. But yeah, I'm going to check the suit status. Yeah, it's back to 100. So once again, we shut that back off. Alright, let's save this in my other save slot. Slot 2. But yeah, you can see we're 1 hour short. We're an hour shorter to what I did last night on my playthrough. But that's cool. Alright, let's exit the main menu for now. Carefully. Careful, can be fined for unauthorized parking. They can even put a ticket in the window. I had a spacewalk to get off. Wait, to get off and pay the fine. Really? That's cool. I'm not gonna be sitting there. I think if you're not loaded in the game, I think that's if you try to sleep in a spot that's not a parking spot. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe it can do it off game, but I think when you quit the game, time stops. Like real time stops moving. But that's funny. I like that there's actually like space tickets, and you actually have to get out and look at the ticket and then pay it. They put a space boot on your rockets. Your rockets are blocked by like these manhole-looking covers. Oh, it's only if you sit too long in game. That's why I tend to stay attached to docking bays. A good way to cheat that, by the way, since you can get up out of your chair while you're docked with a shop, it doesn't count while you're at the shop. So if you ever want to park, but you're not trying to park, you're just trying to get stuff done, but you don't want to accidentally be fined for sitting still too long, either, like Cam King said, find an actual parking area, or attach yourself to one of the shops and just get up out of your seat and just don't do shopping. Especially if you're not needing to buy anything, you can just use that as time to like change out stuff, make maintenance, and fix things. The only thing you can't do while doing that is patching up breaches in the hull of the truck. You will have to be detached so you can spacewalk to go and patch the holes. Otherwise, most of the other stuff can be done while you're at the shop. So that's a good way to get around that. Pretty sure any space cargo vessel would have autopilot. Probably, to be fair, or at least they'd have autopilot for a certain distance. Like, they wouldn't be piloting the whole way. That would be just inefficient and tiring for no reason. Unless it just felt like it. Maybe some pilots would pilot longer just because they feel like they enjoy piloting and flying through space and stuff like that. You'd have that, but still overall, you'd probably see most vessels. I'll give you an example. Nostromo was basically a cargo vessel. Hey, do you think they piloted it the whole way there? No, they were asleep in cryo. It's like so. Fun little game this. Definitely gonna get a lot of hours. Oh yeah, me as well. That's why we might not do a full series on this because we got so many other games we're going to be playing. But we are going to show this off here and there on my channel to give it some love and show what I've done. Like basically at certain segments of my success, I'm going to show like the different levels of different things. So tonight's episode, because we're going to do another episode, because since I have to end it early, I've got to take a quick break to do some stuff. Around in like 30 minutes to an hour when we do the second part to this, we're going to be checking out customizations, and we're going to be checking out customizations in some of the more, and try to get one of the story missions to pop up so we can do that, to show that off tonight. And then after that, that's when I'll probably play it on my own off camera for a while before you see another episode of this. Probably make some upgrades. Either that or what it'll be is I'll do some jobs off camera, and the next episode we'll be showing off how upgrades work. Because I don't have enough money right now to do any upgrades on the truck yet. We're probably going to barely have enough money to paint it. Like even put even a new paint scheme on it or anything. So, we'll probably have a specific episode at least devoted to that to show off the upgrade mechanics in this game. For how you can make your truck better in different ways and change things. I haven't spoiled too much on that to see what all is available in that, so I'm just as eager to see what's going to be available in that as much as y'all are going to be, so it's going to be cool. Space Trucker 2 with multiplayer. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. A multiplayer in the next game, that would be a tip for them. They don't have to put it in this one. It's not a requirement. But I will say in the next one, a tip for this type of game, it would be really amazing to have co-op with this. To be able to like run, even if it's just 2 players, to be able to like run a dual-man convoy where we're both taking loads to the same destination and making the monies, and maybe even have a company, kind of like ATS. If you want examples of kind of how you want to maybe make your infrastructure or upgrades in like future of like upgrades you could give to this game, I do highly recommend to this developer to check out. If they don't, they probably already know what ATS is. I mean, look at this game. Something tells me they're an ATS fan and know what that is, which is, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, American Truck Simulator is what that stands for. It may be an old game, but what makes it a great game is even as the age that ATS has on it, it still keeps going, not only because of it keeps adding new states and stuff, and new trucks, but on top of that, it's more about the fact that it's an actual company. You can logistically, like, progress your way up, make your own deliveries, have multiple trucks in that game, so you can have trucks for different types of loads, maybe even eventually, and these are just suggestions, these are not requirements. Maybe even an AI that you could have pilot in your truck. But the biggest reason why to have a company type style of gameplay for that is it promotes good co-op. Because if ATS was on console right now, me and Demping could join in on my Guardian Logistics company, and we could make money not only for the company but for both of us as well. and you would be able to kind of have a more streamlined co-op that way, and both players would be feeling like they're contributing to the growth of the trucking industry altogether inside the spaceverse of the Star Trucking universe. So, think you need to do story to unlock the upgrade store. No, it looked like I was able to drive into it when I went by it earlier. When I went by it in my other save. I could be wrong. Maybe if I drive up to it, the docking panel is going to be locked. But the icon usually, like, you know how you see the icon on the map when it doesn't let you do it? It has a lock on it. It'll usually say this is not available. It actually shows the icon as if I could run up and upgrade. But to be fair, I've done 3 story missions. That's why I have access to the customizations for the truck, too. I'm pretty sure you get them both at the same time, or at least close to it. Plus, I've been leveling up a lot faster than the game probably intended, because I did some more side jobs than it probably expected me to do. So. But, let's see. I'm 1,000,000% confident any space police force would be indistinguishable from a PDF because dealing with space pirates and upholding law in space requires a lot of firepower. Probably. Did you check out Felt That? I did, but I did. It looks pretty cool. I do like how it looks. I like the Muppet feel. The Muppet feel is definitely different. It adds a bit of a flair to it that most boxing games won't have. Pretty good gameplay, well, from what we can tell is what I assume is gameplay. So, it looks really cool. I really like it. I probably am going to definitely check that out, because it does look pretty interesting. I've never seen a concept of a Muppet boxing game. Then again, there is that new survival game that you play like wooden people, where it's like a story-based game. It kind of reminds me of BioShock, and I'm definitely going to be checking it out. But because I haven't seen a good BioShock-like game in a long time. But it looks really fun. The graphics are pretty mind-blowing. Yeah, they are. They definitely are. I'll give them that. They definitely went pretty hard in how detailed it is for being Muppets too, for the fact that it's like, wow. Because it didn't have to do that because it is Muppets, right? They didn't technically have to go that far into it, but they did. Like I said, it does look pretty good. If it comes out or gets a demo and all that, I'll definitely check it out and show it off on the channel and see what it's got. But definitely. But this is an awesome game. We're going to be coming back to this in about 30 minutes to an hour. And we'll be continuing off where I left off in my playthrough, hopefully doing a little bit of story, and we're going to check out what the customizations look like for the first time. I am probably going to have to buy some cheap batteries to make up for some of the money I'm probably going to have to spend. Instead of buying plus batteries at all, we're going to have to run like a run or two with cheap stuff on board, probably to make up for what we might buy looks-wise. If we get any in the beginning, we might save it and just go do some cargo runs, and save the customization for the end of that episode. We have a little bit of money, but we'll have to see how it goes and how expensive the customizations really are. Well, my closing statement is, would dragons survive in the Helm Creek Formation? And to make things simple, the Game of Thrones dragons? Probably not. You talking about Helldivers? They have things that blow up bugs the size of miniature mountains or hills and buildings. I don't think they'd stand a chance. They might get a few kills and get some good strafing runs, but yeah, don't doubt it. You see, the story better be basically the Rocky movie, but with Elmo That would be pretty cool. That would, I admit, that would be pretty hilarious. Hell Creek Formation is a formation in the age of... Oh! See, when I hear hear Hell's Creek, all I can think about is that reference of that towards Helldivers. Helldivers has broken my mind. You're talking about the dinosaur location, the land formation. Okay, then yes. 100%. With my misinterpretation of that, yes. Do you mean against actual, like, a dinosaur type, what's it called area where, I forgot what timeline that takes place in. But really, to be realistic, since that's a real life based thing, dragons are, if they were real, maybe, but most likely mythical kind of creatures, so they definitely would survive. Maybe even be a detriment to that ecosystem. But because we're talking about a flying predator that breathes fire. Like, dinosaurs couldn't do that. They could, some of them could fly, but they definitely couldn't breathe fire. So, let's see, they would be the apex predators. Oh yeah. Anywhere they would go during most of the dinosaur eras, they'd probably be apex predators. They have the height where they can fly, and once again, they have a weapon no other animal has. Literally. And it's like, so yeah, they would be, like I said, they could end up actually being, technically, you could argue, a detriment and a danger to the ecosystem. This is why I believe if real life dragons existed, they definitely did not breathe fire. Like, they definitely did not breathe fire. Maybe there was at some point some sort of flying lizard that was like really powerful and scary and big, like a T-Rex with wings, basically. Which is scary in its own right, just that statement alone, by the way. But it didn't breathe fire. I highly doubt. But the mythological one, like Game of Thrones versions, yeah, there'd be no competition for that thing at all, ever, until humans arrived. Humans would be the only thing that could take that thing down. It would require the human intervention. Wait, according to Star Trek Online, the T-Rex had laser eyes. I remember that. I don't know why that was a thing in that episode. I think there was a reason why they explained why that was, like it got altered by some alien life form or something. I don't remember that. I remember what you're talking about though. That was baffling. I don't remember why or what caused that situation for that episode, but I don't think they will spam it since they can. Yeah, I mean they can run out of fire, but it doesn't really matter. There's no opponent that it wouldn't take more than one shot. There is no dinosaur alive that could take a full fire blast, just a single one, from a Game of Thrones dragon. The thing is now a giant cooked chicken, considering they are basically birds. And mixed kind of like they're like a bird reptile hybrid thing, and that they kind of have relations to both genomes. So it's literally a giant overcooked chicken / alligator. I'm trying to think what would be if there'd be any natural predators for them. Like things that could actually maybe kill them. Not easily, but maybe put them at a stance where they know that they can't fully just eat the whole entire ecosystem. I don't think there is. Well, trying to think if the sauropod could do this. If sauropods could do this because of how their size is, maybe I guess it'd be the neck though, right? The only thing they could hit him with is the neck if he's flying around their head. Plus, he can still fly higher. That's the thing about having wings. It's cheating. Okay, yeah, I was thinking Mosasaur, but it would have to be flying. The only time that's going to happen is if the dragon's dumb enough to be flying across the surface of the water at the wrong time. Then yes, 100% the Mosasaur. Hell, even a Megalodon, if it was close enough to the surface, could have gotten it. It would have to be. Jam King is also right, because here's also another thing. Ocean creatures are immune to flying creatures, because you know why? You can't fly underwater. So, it is the counter crux where I will say the only things that would never be threatened by a dragon would be aquatic based. Not only because they're in the water, but then fire don't work either. But when Finn can't, he could probably use his wings to mount pretty good speed underwater. But compared to a creature that is built for living under the water, he'd never be as fast. That's what would actually probably take them out. But once again, this would only be if they were near the water. As long as they, after the first or two dragon deaths, the rest of the dragons would probably instinctually start to learn. You don't go near the big blue thing. Giant monsters bigger than us live down there. The tyrant lizard can maybe kill the medium to small dragons if they're distracted. Maybe. I'll agree with that. Maybe. Because of how big it is, and powerful it is. But I agree it still would have to be distracted. Because even a small, medium dragon, once again, it fires fireballs. So we would have to give the tyrant lizard a chainsaw shield and a double barrel shotgun. Then he can win. Then he's just gotta wait. Just block and send the fireballs back at him. Oh man. Hard Truck Guardian. Hello, Lamito. We are about to wrap it up, but we're going to be back in about 30 minutes to an hour if you want to join in as well, Lamito. But also, welcome. We were checking out the tutorial in the very beginning of the game, but we're going to load my save that's past that for the next episode, which will be in about 30 minutes to an hour once I stop. And then we'll do a part 2 today to cover this all at once today. That way we can switch gears tomorrow to something else as well. He's like, you crashed your truck into the moon yet, Lamito? No tab gig, but a lot of other stuff. Yeah, oof. It is, and it can add up too. Yeah, raining. The ore groups of medium Rexes can jump it from multiple angles, but one will have to take the napalm. That's true. I don't know. You have seen how fast they can sit by and just drop a firebomb and then go. They have to be ready. But then again, Rexes are ambush predators, right? That's something a lot of people don't realize, that Rexes aren't actually just open hunters. They're actually ambush predators. So that realistically could make sense. I could see an evolution happening in the Rex's genome, where if they're getting taken out by this flying predator, that they start creating ambushes for it when they know one's nearby. Like, basically luring it into places using trees and stuff. Because eventually it would probably learn ways to try to fight the dragon in different ways to get it close enough that maybe it could get a good chomp on him. Because I will say one thing the dragon does not have. This is one thing the dragon would not win in. If a dragon actually did get forced to the ground and could not use its fire, it's dead. It ain't fighting no Rex. the crushing power in a Rex's jaws is gonna break its throat and its skull if it gets caught in its head gets caught in the mouth. Like that Rex is gonna crush him. But only if he can get it on the ground in his playground and in his fighting ring. Then he wins. Oh yeah, I did see the free DLC. I did pick that up. I'm picturing batteries in the UCS slots and the and the and the UCCs in the like. Yes, remember, where round doesn't go in square hole. Oh man, but yeah, but that would realistically, I do think, if Rex could get him out of the fire spam bull BS situation and get him on the ground, he could easily kill him. But because Rexes are seriously underestimated, like seriously underestimated. The more I learn about natural real Rex, the more I realize Rexy was strong, but we do give her way too much credit. Like Goliath and all them, they'd have a better chance at killing the Spinosaurus. Whereas none of the JP Rexes, unless they jumped 47, would ever kill him. He'd just show them up like it's nothing. So, let's see, the big alphas can. Let's see. Yeah, the big alphas can. Those dragons can. Those dragons, even the Rexes have to avoid because they can hunt sauropods. Yeah, you talking about big, yeah. That's what makes the big Rexes. Whew, they were nasty. Hush, I now know how. Hush, I know how batteries work. Just thought you could recharge them. No, you have to buy new ones. But that would be cool if you could get an upgrade to have a battery charger in your truck somewhere. It'd be funny if that's what the shock pods are. Like, there is some shock pods. I don't know what they do yet. But it'd be kind of cool if those end up turning out to be a recharger. But I highly doubt it. I have a feeling the game just wants you to buy new ones. But recharge them for free? I has unfeathered capitalism taught you nothing? Has unfeathered capitalism taught you nothing, let me know. Oh man. But anyways, alright chat, I don't want to delay too much more, so we have plenty of time to start up, because I want it to be the latest we start around 6:15. So we have time to fully do what I want to do in the second part of this episode. So like I said, in about 30 minutes to an hour, we will be doing part 2 of this. So be looking if you're planning on trying to join up again for the stream, be on the lookout for that. That'll be around, at latest 6:15, at earliest it'll be 5:45 is when we'll PM Eastern Time US. Oh, I always forget to say that. So that way, for whatever time zone you may be from, you can kind of just look it up and compare it to see what time that is for you. So I try to do that and try to remember to say what my time zone is so people can look it up on Google and stuff. So that way they know what time that is for them. Sometimes it don't always work out for everyone timeline-wise, but sometimes it's just how it is. It's hard to do that for every time zone. It's almost impossible, to be fair, in some cases. I'd have to stream multiple times a day, and I sadly don't have that kind of time. And so, let's see. Shock pods are basically surge protectors for when you get zapped by electricity. Oh! They will blow out before damaging your systems. Ah. What time is that in the southeastern continent of Wakanda? Actually, they have an Australian time, right? They're behind me, I think, right now, right? I can't remember if Australia's ahead of me or behind me. I think it's a 4-hour difference. No, hold on, that can't. Hold on. No, we're actually gonna do this. Before we go, I want to know, because they're basically use Australian time since that place doesn't really exist in real life. What time is it in Australia right now? Oh, that's a lot worse than that. So they're ahead of me. Because wait a minute. It says June 13th. What's my date? Yeah, they're ahead of me by a day. Wow. Wow, Australia's in the future. So, like, by a lot. Like, it's 5:11 p.m. for me right now. In Australia, it is 7:11 a.m. That's what time it also would be in Wakanda, since it uses the same time scaling. Wow. So it's in the morning right now. Holy crud. Congo would be a good one too. But for some reason they use Australia time zones. Because you can actually look this up in Marvel, that if you look at the time when in Wakanda versus the time when T'Challa is doing that meeting during the attack in Avengers, was it Infinity War? Or was it the actual Black Panther movie? I don't remember which. But, you actually kind of get to see a comparison of this, and you can kind of tell that, okay, and then when you look up that time in comparison to real life, you're like, well, that's Australian time, which is strange, because you would think they would have went more of to like an actual like place that would probably represent where that place is probably from, and where it's probably continentally located in real life, or where it would be close to. I doubt it would be near Australia. Its climate don't make sense for that. So there's a lot of like harsh, like really like equator, like towards like deep like southern part of the equators, and like place like Egypt's areas and stuff like that, and actual Africa and things like that. It's definitely got the biome of that though, which is weird. But alright, Farseer said, before we go, I'll read the last 3 comments. Farseer said, bye Ardnot. If I said rain of fire dragon, the entire planet yeah, those things were way too big. I did love that movie, by the way. Good shout out. As far as just crazy high octane dragon movie, that movie was good. Wasn't great story wise in some cases, but God, I just loved how they portrayed the dragons. They gave off almost like and this is gonna be a weird comparison, kaiju mixed with vampire fear, because they had the fear of like the intelligence of how like vampires would come out of the sky and just snatch you up, and but at the same time like real vampires, not like Dracula, like I'll suck your blood, like vampires that would be legit physical vampires. Plus on top of that, they're basically kaijus. Like them things are massive. So, but yes. Always said it's a futuristic country. Futuristic, they have Ruse fist fighting in the streets. I think he meant Wakanda. But you know what? That's Cam King is accurate. Australia's main crime is committed by kangaroo. Here you gotta worry about like human gangs. In Australia, it's the Roo gangs. the Roos rule. Anyway, time-wise, if it's 24 hours ahead of Ardnot, that's true. Plus, the asteroid wouldn't be able to kill them since they also eat ash. That's true. That is very true. They would have outlived them even in the catastrophe. You've got a good point. Which is terrifying. Wasn't that kind of the lore of that movie? I don't remember actually the full story of Rain of Fire. I don't want to get too much into that because I will drag this on, but if I remember correctly, that was a semi-premise of it. The semi-premise of them is that they burned the dinosaurs. It wasn't a meteor, and they went extinct or something, or not extinct. They went into like hibernation or something. It was something like that. It was a weird story, but at least it was cool for what it was trying to do. I mean, for the craziness and high octane it was, like I said, it was well done. Pretty short, too, for a movie. Like, it was a really short movie. Let's see, last comment. Broken Arrow has a better early access pre-order than nearly all AAA games because it's the same as the base game. Well, that's what a lot of smaller companies do anyways. Once again, and if they're releasing it and it's basically got all the base game stuff in it, but you're doing this to make it easier to make patches faster, because I've noticed a lot of smaller companies do this so they can keep bug reporting in the game, and they do this so players can report bugs and they find out about it faster. It's a pretty smart, ingenious plan, to be fair. Which is also why you see those games crash less and have less problems. That's why this game is running, I think, like a well-oiled machine. This thing's been through 2 iterations of itself, with bug reporting and other things to help it. And now we're at this final version here on PS5. This has been released on PS5 now, and this thing is amazing. So like I said, the smaller companies are definitely the smarter way to go. It's like especially for professionalism. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to grow to a certain extent, but I do think, like I said earlier, and this will be my closing statement, I think that the max amount of main team members for your creative development and on all of your projects as a development company for video games should probably never go above, I'll even jump this number to this safely, 200. But that's still pretty high. But I will say about 200. But once you get past that, you're starting to hit overbloation, in my opinion. Because at 300, it's like, okay, but why the 100 extra? When you're just going to outsource anyways the mass production stuff from the 200 to like a larger group, just to take their assets that they've done and just make them and basically. And what I mean by mass produce, basically do the fill-in parts. Usually the main teams make the core, and the outsourcing part does the, what do you call it, like just filling in the gaps and making sure things aren't broken. It's almost like quality assurance, but it's not. That's technically a separate thing, but I also have a qualm with that as well. And we're not going to get into that, but I'll just put it this way as a simple fact, and we'll talk about this then in the future. I do think quality assurance is an unnecessary department. The reason why I say this is because quality assurance shouldn't be separate from your initial, when you outsource and then you're using those people to basically run through the mass production part of the game. That's when that should be found. Excuse my language on that, but quality assurance being a whole separate department just pollutes the water even further. And it's like, because that means it has to go to another department, get checked for problems, get noticed for problems, get sent back to another department, for that department to fix the problem, then send it back again. See what's happening there. No. It's a waste of funds, it's a waste of manpower, it's a waste of time, when all of that can be done in one department. So, it's crazy. But anyways, that's why these good smaller companies are doing so good now, because they've realized that. Let's see. 3 days early for buying it for $60. Oh, that's awesome. I can't do that. I have no money left for this month. It is gone. Tis gone until the beginning of the next month. Then that's when we'll buy our main titles we're going to be going into towards August with. But let's see. Farsier, you liar. You said the other one was your last comment, lol. GG, y'all. Damn King said that was part 2 of the last comment, and this is part 3 of the last comment. To defend the inclusions of part 2. Oh man, that was some. By the way, everyone, Spaceballs 2 is coming. Just wanted to drop that real quick. If you haven't seen the trailer, it's a short trailer. There's not much to it right now, but the man of the shorts himself talks to the audience, and also there's like a Star Wars credit roll thing like they do in the beginning of Star Wars and they did in the first Spaceballs. God, that was the best credit roll, joking credit roll, like slapstick humor I've read in a long time. It hits so many different notes. I'll give you an example. It's like before. It's like, but it was really. It's like there was always. It's like every other movie has had sequels, like 7 Alien movies and 2 Predator movies, who are also 6 Predator movies, who are also Alien movies. and I'm like, I'm very excited. So, my wish has been granted. The Swartz has returned. Oh man, it won't be for a little bit. That screw last comment. What? They're making a new one? Yes. It's sadly a pretty far away. It's 2027, but it's definitely. I'm happy. I'm so happy. We need this. We need this kind of ridiculousness. There's too much BS and seriousness in the industries. We need someone to come out and make a killing with a crazy movie that is a classic, but also funny enough that everyone will watch it just because of how crazy it is. We need this. But it was basically making a joke how every other sci-fi movie has had at least one sequel, and then at the end it goes, except for Spaceballs. Until now. It was a perfect intro, and then the Schwartz Yoda himself. Forget it. What was his name? What was the character's name? I had it, and then my brain melted. Oh, what was his name? But he basically talks to the audience, saying it's coming, and about when it's coming, it's gonna be good. So why the early access in the first place? Give everyone at the same time, in my opinion. Well, the only difference in that one, I do agree with Tam King in most cases, but the one thing that Farseer is saying before I go, Tam King, is that for Broken Arrow, the early access version is no more expensive than the base game version. Hell, it might even be technically part of the base game version if that's how they're kind of running it. But, so that makes sense if you want to get it early. Because maybe they're looking at it as, well, they may not be able to spend $60 even right now anyways, even on the base game. So they're looking at it as, well, we'll put this one out here probably for the same price. If people do have it, they can get it for the same price as the base game now, but still get early access days early. That's a lot smarter than most, but I do still think that they should just give early access in most cases to everyone. But then I guess you could argue also, it's a double-edged sword. I also think that maybe there's also a double argument before I go. I'm not going to get into this deeply, but I'll say this. There's also an argument to be said sometimes you just don't want early access at all. And I don't mean like in general, I mean like 4 days early than something everyone else gets to play it kind of thing. That's what I mean by that. I do think that is somewhat an archaic thing to do with games now. I do think that it's kind of silly. And I do think that we're going to end up going away from it. And I think social media is going to end up contributing to this. because we're starting to see a massive issue, and this happened with Doom Dark Ages, even though it does have its own problems. Of everyone, all the reviewers and the big boy YouTube, Twitch streamers, and everyone in between got it a week early almost, and they basically beat the game in a day or two, and the game's whole story and a whole review and everything about it with spoilers and everything was released on YouTube and every platform before the game was even out for the general populace. And to me, and I'm like, what happened to what do they call them? Non-disclosure. What happened to NDAs? It's like, isn't there supposed to be NDAs to protect against this stuff? Like you're supposed to not post those videos until the full release? I do think it's going to end up causing developers to eventually stop doing this. In some cases, it helps the game, but in some cases, it doesn't. So, I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. Let's see. You were talking about the sequel for the Professor Snape sci-fi movie. No, Lamito, that movie is going to bomb and won't get a sequel. Wait, what? What are we talking about? What movie is even Lamito talking about? I've never heard of this. Now my mind is racing on different, like, what? What? What Professor Snape's basement? What are we talking about? Harry, I'm going to space. Just leaves just there's like an edited video clip of him, Snape just walking out and slamming the door and leaving Hogwarts. The heck? Didn't you give us the trailer for Spaceballs too? Yeah, he did. Yeah. Plus, with how many playtests Broken Arrow had, we should have a good idea on how polished it's going to be. That's true too. And that's why it won't be affected by early access in any way, like some games would be, but I do think that at some point it might just, and even for the developer's sake, that costs them money to have to do that. People don't realize that. To have to like make sure the server's up early like that, it means they're paying more people overtime to do certain things and all kinds of things across the board that seep in and kind of add even more to the price of the development. So I do think it's small, but it adds up. So I do think eventually you will see probably developers lean away from that. As far as like, oh, buy this edition and get 6 days early. Especially the more their products get kind of, like I bet you Doom wish they hadn't done that. Like I even though I didn't rag on Doom like a lot of people did, I said what I had to say for fairness on the things that were wrong with it, but dear Lord, man. What happened to Doom was just, wow. If good or bad, it was kind of atrocious. And it's like, that's why I think there needs to be a limit on when you can put a video out. And I know there are a lot of streamers aren't going to like that. A lot of video posters, but I have to play devil's advocate on this one and go, yes, but you are, at that point, you are actually legally, technically illegitimizing any type of profit that could be made, even if it's a good game or bad game. Like if it's a bad game, it's gonna fail either way, no matter what. Because that's the thing about bad games; it's not hard to tell. And it's like so, and I don't consider Doom Dark Ages bad, but I consider it mediocre. Like it's definitely a $60 game, not an $80 game. But the amount of like craziness that was said about the game, other than the $80 price range, I find it funny most of the reviewers didn't even talk about that. They just wanted to rag on the gameplay, but didn't mention one thing about it being $80. It's because a lot of these reviewers don't really review. They give a somewhat review, and then they half suit the other part because they don't want the developer to truly like hate on them because, you know, oh, that might cut out future sponsors, blah, 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 blah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So Like, they'll talk about the things that are easy to rag on, but they won't talk about the things that are actual issues with gaming. So, and that's what it should be. Because the price tag should be the biggest negative it has. And it is. Or at least in my opinion. So, but either way. Yeah, Broken Arrow is definitely worth it. Yeah, Spaceballs 1 is the movie Alan Rickman. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think who he played. If he's in there. Not sure who he was. No, it's not him. It's not the mayor. Or the space mayor, whatever his name is. Yeah, you're thinking about Galaxy Quest, Lamito, which I sadly will probably never get a sequel. Champion's definitely right about that. That movie was pretty good, but I doubt that movie ever get a sequel. Could be wrong, but hey. Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't think he was in it. That's why I was scanning through my characters, like, I don't remember Snape being in this movie. Plus, it showed me how useless building last stands are, because you know they're just bring the whole place down on your head. Oh, my control died again. Oh, well, that's true too, yeah. Well, buildings are only good in the beginning. I've noticed something in you, and I'll say this, and I really do have to end it real quick so we have time for the second episode. Buildings are not safe because, for one reason, in Broken Arrow. Mainly artillery, but there's one bigger reason. It's just too easy. When a player has stacked all of his players, especially if you have this as your option, as me and Darius and James proved, even when you're losing to lag and terrible, terrible frame rate, the one thing that always wins against anything that's fortified is radiation. We all know what I mean. So, yeah, you got a player who just won't get out of the buildings, and you don't have enough artillery or airstrikes to get him out. Well, time to turn this place into Fallout. Yeah, 10K can do it too, to be fair. The 10K pounder, the 10,000 pounder could definitely level a single one for sure. But you might not have any of those left. It really depends on your build, but you are correct. To me, building the fencing in Broken Arrow is only going to be effective if it's got its other platoons with it. Meaning you need like an AA somewhere near the defensive line that's kind of in the front, and you don't want it too close to the building, because it might not have time to shoot the plane or jet before it drops the bomb. So you kind of want them on, like, creating almost like a net, like real life, around the perimeter of whatever your defensive nest is that you've created. Because then it makes it harder for people to get you out of your defense zones until they either use big boy weaponry, or they have to resort to either rushing or other tactics to try to get in there and dig you out. But yes, that is very true. But without any of that, building defensing it's only a temporary tactic. You really only want to do it if you're just trying to delay someone from pushing. You don't want to really stick to it as your main way of keeping your zones. Just because it's inefficient, and a real platoon of anything will technically still beat it. I mean, hell, if you get a good armored unit to roll in there and there's no other anti-armor unit with the people in the building, even if the building has rocket launchers, if you've got enough APCs and anti-personnel vehicles, they're just going to wreck the people in that building. So there's a lot that plays into that strategy game like that. So But, well, I won't hold you, but forest defense, yes, forest is the way to go. Guerrilla tactics. But it is true. A lot of those games that play like Broken Arrow, Red Dragon, or whatever the one its previous competitor was called, I forgot. My brain. Land, Sea, and Air, that game. All of those types of games are, their biggest strategy is just the tree lines. Because the tree lines hide your units too. They give you a little bit of stealth at to a certain distance, unless there's like a recon unit that can spot you from distance coming up on your area. Other than that, or a drone in the air that can kind of spot you. It's like, other than that, forests are the best way to go. Also, forests provide a really good defensive structure that can't just be blown away. The only way to get rid of forests is to burn them down. That's where napalm would be required. You would have to have a napalm loadout. If your opponent's got a lot of forest that they can use against you, and you're the besieger, you need to bring some fire. Would Broken Arrow sequel be called Patched or Repaired Arrow? No. I'm just hoping it comes to console at some point. I am going to get it on PC when I can, but I do hope it comes to console though. But either way, alright chat, we're going to wrap it up here so we have time for our second episode. Because now that we're ending at 5:30, it'll be closer to 6:30 if we take if it takes me an hour to get done. So, what I got to do real quick, so. But I will see y'all in our second episode. I want to say big shout out to Tam King, my moderator, Farseer. Heckin' real war forests provide a huge defensive. Yes, they do. That's why we lost in a certain place. And I'll leave it at that. We severely underestimated the power of trees. That's all I'll say. Oh, man. But I hope you all enjoyed. Big shout out to Lamido. Big shout out to my moderator, Farseer. Big shout out to Tam King. Big shout out to everyone watching in the background if you didn't catch the live stream and you saw the video. Hope to see you in about 30 minutes to an hour in our second episode for today, where we will finish looking at the customizations, see what it looks like to kind of paint the truck and mix some things up. And we'll hopefully get a story or two mission done while we're at it. Hopefully. But alright chat, hope to see y'all in a little bit, and I will see you in the next one. Peace and love to everyone in the chat. Bye!